वैसा ही नहीं आपके वैसा ही नहीं कुछ नहीं बोलिए यहाँ पे वैसे ही नहीं कुछ
Hello friends, welcome to TechGeek webinar Android location based service in Google Maps. This is Vineet Agarwal, Technical Head Big Data Technologies. First of all, I would like to thank Bharat and TechGeek for giving one more opportunity to share my ideas on techgeek.com. The agenda for today will be a topic about Android location based service in Google Maps. We will first cover the audience, and then we will see location based services in Android. Then we'll move to geocoding. After we'll move to see that how to implement Google Maps, and in the end we will also see a brief view about Google APIs. Before that, I would like to introduce myself. Myself Vineet Agarwal, and I am associated in mobile industry for last 8 years and currently working as technical head mobile technology in Big Data Technologies. We have been in mobile apps for a long period of time and developing mobile apps in all technology, Android, iPhone and all. Our apps are also running on firmware of many devices. Android is my passion, and but I also like iOS, BlackBerry and J2ME. My hobbies are saying knowledge and doing research. So here I am just looking to share my knowledge on every topics, and I will take your questions at the end of the session. The audience, we assume that the developers have basic understanding of Android, and they will have and we also cover audience who are having knowledge of location-based services and Google Maps. If you want to have a basic understanding of Android, you can just also do TechGeek webinar series 1. So we would like to start with location-based services. Well, Android gives our application accesses to location services and supported by device store classes in Android.location package. And in fact, I would say that L-based applications and Google Maps are one of the most major contribution in Android, because it helps us to develop a variety of applications. Some of the examples we have in market of L-based applications are Foursquare, which is one of the major application in currently. Like I would like to show you the Foursquare. Basically, Foursquare is one of the major L-based applications, and it gives a lot of leverage to users to develop L-based applications. It was one of the major site which covers with L-based applications. It has been in Android and all. So we would like to see that how we can develop such kind of applications. So the basic of developing such application is a location-based services, and this has been given Android.location package. Well, if we say about location-based services, this is used to describe the different technologies used to find a device current location. The two main L-based elements we have in currently location-based services are location manager and location providers. Location manager provides hooks to location-based services, and location provider represents different location finding technologies. Using location manager, we can do variety of things. We can obtain current location, track movement. We can also set proximity alerts for detecting movement and find available location providers. But the question is how to track location. And for this, we have 5 simple steps. The steps are divided into first is getting location manager. Then we need to determine location providers. After this, we need to find location. Then we need to track movement. And then we need to get latitude and longitude. So location manager. Well, we don't need to initiate a location manager directly. We request an instance from system by just get system service method. And as you know, the purpose of location-based services is to find physical location of the device. Access to location-based services is handled by location manager system service. And here's a code, a small code snippet that how you can access a location manager. You first need to get a handle of a location service by using context or location service. Then just to define object of location manager, and then initialize it with the get system service method. One of the major thing is that because Android is a very secure system, so we need to define permissions in manifest file for location to access location-based services. And these permissions are access find location and access course location. The second step is to determine location providers. We can specify the requirements that are basically the first step in determining location provider is to define criteria. Well, I would say that when developing a location application, before this, we need to see that when developing a location application, we can utilize GPS and Android network location provider to acquire the user location. Although GPS is most accurate, but it works only on outdoors, and it quickly consumes battery power and does not return the location as quickly as a user want. And the better solution is using Android network location provider that determines user location using cell tower and Wi-Fi signals, providing user location information in a way that works indoors and outdoors, responds faster, and uses less battery power. We also face some challenges like determining user movement and maintaining accuracy. To take care of all these things, and location-based packages give us a criteria class. The criteria specify the requirements that a provider must meet and let Android determine the best technology to use. Criteria class also used to dictate the requirements of a provider in terms of accuracy, final course, power use, financial cost, and the ability to return values for altitude and speed. To set the criteria, we just need to define a criteria class by just initializing criteria object, and then we can just set the accuracy by using criteria accuracy find, and we can then set criteria set power requirement power low. So what it will do that it will just search only for those devices having and search only for those providers having fine accuracy and low power. The method here is to determine is a location manager or get best provider. The third step here is to find the location. So for that we need to just call get last known location method. The location object return includes all the position information available from the provider that supplied it. After getting the last known location, we can just track the movement with the help of location listener. So for the so what we have to do, just we have to define a location listener, and in that we can just call a method update new location. It's a user defined method in which we'll get the latitude and longitudes and update the locations. So by using request location update methods, we can just update the location at a fixed time interval. Location based services are very active to user movement. So request location methods get updates whenever current location changes using location listener. The final step here is to get latitude and longitude. So to print and update latitude and longitude value from location object, we just need to get define a string object and then a text view, and then after this we just need to find a text view ID. We need to see if our location object is not null. So in that case we will just find the location object latitude and longitude, and we can just print the strings. So basically what there are two more things that we besides getting this latitude and longitude methods, we can just define a location object, and after this in getting a latitude and longitude we can just use this latitude and longitude to in variety of things. So let's see that how you can do in Eclipse. So here is the code. As I told you that we need to just define location service and then get system service. Then after that we can just get the last best provider and then update it with new location. The output would be like this. So this is just a small snippet in which we are getting a latitude and longitude outputs. So the question is that how we can track with the help of emulator if we don't have device. So we can just use a DDMS, and in DDMS we have emulator control. Using emulator control we can just send the coordinates. Just suppose like I send a coordinate 119 cross 30. So what it will do, it will just send the coordinates, and if you see here, so it will show you like this. So it will just determine your current position. So if you install this application in your main device, Samsung Galaxy S, Galaxy S2, anything, so it will just provide you your location. Location, after getting a location, the next step is to manage Google Maps. But before that, we need to know some important things. The important points are, okay, we can just use the location based services and all. But in Android, as you know, that it's a very lot of things are there. Memory constrained devices are there, battery life is there. So we need to take care of all those things. And when using a LBS service, so one of the major thing which we have to take care is the power cost. Most GPS hardware incurs significant power cost. So it's recommended that you disable updates whenever possible in application. The reason being that whenever if you don't disable updates, so it will create updates and again, and it will just cost you battery, and you will not able to get a real result of application. Another major step is user privacy. So we need to notify users that when we are tracking their locations and allowing users to disable location updates. So it helps us to ensure their user privacy. There are some steps also with the help of which we can preserve batteries. We can reduce the size of a location-based window, so it will help us to preserve battery life. And there are a lot of providers, so we can also restrict the size, number of providers. So suppose that you are looking for just a network provider, so just go for network provider, because the searching will take a lot of time. So it's recommended that you just take define a set of providers. You can just set the location providers to return updates with less frequency also. So this will ensure that your battery life is increase. So this all covers our location-based services, and you can just perform very good location-based application with the help of these inputs. But before going to Google Maps, there is one more major concept. It's called geocoding. Well, what is geocoding? It's a very major question. You must have seen that when you open Google Maps, you got street addresses and you get coordinates and all everything. So the concept behind everything is the geocoding. For example, suppose that you are in Delhi or you want to just see your place in Google Maps, and suppose you just want to see your home. So how to do that? Geocoding helps us to provide that functionality. It helps us to translate between street addresses and longitude latitude map coordinates. Because when we use location-based services to get our location, so we just get those location coordinates in latitude and longitude form. So we need to translate those coordinates in street address form. So this all concept is done by geocoding. Geocoding gives you recognizable context for locations and coordinates using location-based services and map activities. A major requirement is that we need to include an internet service permission in our manifest file. So because we are entering Google Map arena and Google Map is to access Google Maps you need to connect with internet. So because Android is a secure system, so we need to include internet user permission. Without using permission, you can't access the Google Maps. There are two major concepts in geocoding. The two concepts are forward geocoding and reverse geocoding. Forward geocoding determines map coordinates for given location. So here is the code. We just need to get the address list, and after this now we just get after getting a geocoding object, so we can just use the method get from location name. So as you can see that now we store all the addresses in our address object, and we get the latitude and longitude of those addresses. The return list of addresses will include latitude and longitude and any additional addresses information available for those coordinates. It is useful to confirm that the correct location was resolved, as well as providing location specific searches for landmarks. The other concept is reverse geocoding. So reverse geocoding returns street addresses for physical locations specified by latitude longitude pairs. So with the help of forward geocoding you can get the location name, but if you want to get your locality, postal code, country name, so at that point of time you need to use reverse geocoding. So to do reverse geocoding, you again need to define a geocoder object. Use get from location method, not get from location name, which is a forward geocoding method. You just pass the latitude and longitude values and store the addresses in address object. After that you can just append the addresses like locality. You can just get the locality by get locality. You can get the postal code by using get postal code, and you can get a country name by using get country name. And you can just append them to your string builder object and print it at runtime. Our next step is to see that how we can implement Google Maps in an Android application and take advantage of this functionality. Well, Android makes it easier to add powerful mapping capabilities, and Google Maps library is being provided by Google as a google.android.maps package, and it's a external library. The package offers downloading, rendering, caching of map files, display options, and managing controls. There are some steps to implement Google Maps. The first step is to get Map API key. The second step is to add library and permissions. The third step is implementing map view. Then the fourth step is implementing map controller. Then we can use overlays. And finally, testing. If you don't have a real-time device, then you can just use the Google API emulator. So we will see that how to go follow all the steps. So for getting Map API key, we first need to get MD5 fingerprint debug certificate. Now, there are two types of certificates. One is MD5 fingerprint debug certificate. Second is MD5 fingerprint signing certificate. The use of both the certificates is that we need to register the certificate and get a Map API key to use it in our application. But the question is that what's the difference between these two certificates? Well, debug certificate is used for normal debugging purposes. Like you are developing your application, you want to do debugging. So you can just use MD5 fingerprint debug certificate. And suppose you want to release in Android market, so for that, at that point of time, you need MD5 fingerprint signing certificate. So we will see that how to get MD5. Now, first we will see that how to get MD5 fingerprint debug certificate and register certificate and getting the key. So the command here is the key tool command. So as you can see, the command is key tool dash list dash alias Android debug key dash key store, then key store path dash store path Android dash key path Android. So what this command means? In Java we have a tool called key tool, and we have one more tool called Java signer. So key tool is used to generate keys and getting the certificates. So the question is that where to find this key tool? You can just move to your program files directory in your root and go to Java folder. In Java folder, you can find your JDK directory. If you have JDK 1.6 installed, so you can just go to JDK 1.6. Here you will find a bin directory. So you can just key tool. So it will show you all the list of commands we have. So here with the help of this key tool, you can just generate the certificate. So now we will see that how to do is. Now in every Android application, basically we have a key store, debug key store is there, which is been and every when you run an application emulator, so the debug key store automatically signs the application. So we need to see that where is the location of that debug key store. So for this, you can just go to Window, Preferences, Android folder, go to Build. Here you can see that this is the path of my default debug key store. So you need to use this path, and with the help of this path, you need to generate your MD5 fingerprint debug certificate. So this key store should be same. So what we have to do, we will just use the key tool command. So you can see that this is our key tool command. Key tool dash list. Alias is the name of the your username of the key store. Then we have the password as Android. So again defining the command key tool dash list. List will just define list the key store. Alias. Then Android debug key is the name of the key store. Android debug key. the path of the key store. Here is the path c:/us cherry dot android debug dot key store. Then to access that key store, we need to have username and password, that store pass android and key pass android. This is the default username and password with the debug key store. So you can just use it always, and then to run your Google Maps application. So when you will use this, so it will just give you a key. You can see it's a certificate fingerprint MD5. So what you need to do, you just need to copy this key. So I just use a mark command and just copy this key. The next step is to go to web. And you can just then go to this link, code.google.com android maps API signup.html. So different folder, code.google.com, code.google.com slash, yeah, here it is. So this is the path. So you just need to open this folder. The next step is to click read and terms and conditions. Well, our key is not get pasted, so we will just try it again. Just a minute, I am pasting this key. Yeah, finally it got pasted. So we just need to enter this key in we just need to enter this key in MD5 fingerprint here. So we will press generate API key button. Because I am signed in, I have my username, my password is signed in my Google account. So it just give me the map API key. So I just need to copy this key, API key. Now we have the API key with us. Mandate if lot of times people get error of getting blank grids when using Google Maps. So this error happens when you don't assign it with a debug key store. As I show you that you need to have a correct path in your debug key store. So you can get the correct path of your debug key store in your preferences directory. So while testing the emulator on emulator, so if you got the blank grids, so please see that your debug key store path is right or not. So if you use that path, so you will get the MD5 pin key. The next step is adding librarian permissions. So we just need to use these two permissions, internet permissions and access file location, which we have already done with location. After this, we also need to use the library com.google.android.maps inside application tag. So like to show you in the code. So this is our project called display map. So this is our main.xml. So as you can see that the API key which map API key which we got, so we have pasted this API key in the API key attribute of the map view. So we will come to map view later in the session. So using this API key, you have now registered your application with this Google Map API key. Also like to show you under manifest file. So in Android manifest.xml, you can see that we have here the use library, we are using the library, and we are also using the two permissions. The next step is the implementing map view. Well, a map view displays a map with data obtained from Google Map service. When a map view has focus, it will capture key presses and touch gestures to pan and zoom the map. So how to implement map view? You need to extend your class with map activity. After this, you need to open main.xml file and add com.google.android1maps.mapview on a root node, just like I show you in the XML file. The next step is to get the map view ID. So you can just get the map view ID by using map view find view by ID in your application. The next step in the application is to implement a map controller. Well, you have seen that people, you can just a lot of times you can zoom the application, you can pan the application. Pan means like suppose that you are at one location and you want to switch the app and you want to see that okay, I'm in India and what's happening in America. So you want to find the locations in America and you just pan the map. So if I would now rather use slide word. So you can just slide the map and with the help, so all these things are done with the help of map view. You can get reference to a map view controller using get controller. So using map view using get controller method, you can just initialize a map controller object. Then you can set the center point. You can set the zoom levels. So coming to zoom levels, we have zoom levels from 1 to 21. 1 depends the widest and 21 depends the nearest. So the actual zoom level for a specific location depends on the resolution of Google Map and imagery of that area. So again, the thing is that if you define, suppose if we, for example, if in this code map controller says zoom 1, so we are requesting a widest zoom. You must have also seen that you can also in Google Maps that you can pin your points that okay, I am at this location. So basically you are doing something on your Google Map. So you must be thinking how to do that. Well, the overlay class in Google Maps help us to do this functionality. Overlay class enables us to add annotations and click handling to map views. Each overlay let us draw 2D primitive, text, lines, images, and shapes directly onto a canvas and handle map touch events. To add annotations based on physical locations, you need to convert between geographical points and screen coordinates. The projection class lets you translate between latitude and longitude coordinates, stored as geopoints, and XY screen pixel coordinates, stored as points. So basically what we do that to draw an overlay, we just convert the geo points into the points, the XY screen pixel coordinates. So we do this with the help of projection class. We will just see the example that how to do this. Now suppose that you want to show some event like you just click on a map position in New Delhi, and you just want to show some message that okay, I'm in New Delhi or I'm in America, if you are in America. So at that point of time, you need to have a user click. Android provides on-tap event handler on overlay in a class, and with the help of on-tap handler, you can just get the latitude and longitude map location tapped. The map view was tapped to trigger this event. Finally, we require an emulator having Google Maps application installed. So fortunately, Google provides an emulator to test this app. We just need to create a AVD. So let's see that how to create that AVD. So again, moving to our Eclipse. So first of all, we need to go to Android SDK and AVD manager. So you can just get the Google API emulator from third party add-ons. So when you click the third party add-ons, so you will get emulators for a variety of SDKs. So for example, you are giving for 2.2, you are testing application for SDK 2.2. So you can just get the Google API emulator for 2.2. As you can see that I have emulator installed for 2.2 already, but I don't have emulator installed for 2.3. So what I can do, just I can just install this API 9 emulator and run on my Google Map application for API 9. After installing this emulator, so we just need to go to new, just give it some name, like suppose Google. Give a target. So in the target, you need to give Google APIs and just create the AVD. So our AVD is now created. We have one more AVD now already with Google API. So to save time, I have already run the output. So the output is like here. So here is the output after running the code. So we can just pan the map, and on clicking the handle, so we can get a message, hello, I am in Mexico City. So we can, I think, also send the zoom levels. So you can see the zoom levels are also there. You can set the zoom levels to minimum to maximum. So the question is that how to, just let's recap that how we have done it. So recapping the whole session again, basically what we are doing, we are just recording the main.xml. In the main.xml, you can see that we have already the map view is there. So we just get that map view ID by using find view by ID method, set the zoom controls. Then we got the overlay object. To draw the marker, we just draw a marker, r.drawable marker. It's just a small image. So here is the image. I can show you. It's a small image. So then we have also defined a geopoint. So it's a geopoint of Maxio City 1 and 2 for 0000 and minus 999120000. We define an overlay item, in which we define that text. So and we add the overlay item to map view. In overlay, we can just define we just use the canvas class to draw drawables, and in on-tap event handler, we just define our dialog builder. On setting a title, we can just set a title, and we are showing the dialog. So this is how we are doing the Google Maps implementation. So this is all about how to do a Google Maps. Google Maps can be done used in variety of things. We can use Google Maps for doing searching locations, and basically suppose that you want to see that what you can do more with Google Maps. So we have Google Places API also. So we can have Google Places API, and we have a lot of things which have been offered by Google. One of the major applications in Google Maps came across is that you need to search ATMs, cinema halls, and all. So to do this, we have a Google Places API. With the help of Google Places API, you can help users to find and learn about places around them. Google Places API will also help you to find your nearest ATMs, nearest locations, and all. The idea here is, again, you need to get your map API key. You need to implement Google Maps, and then you need to implement Google Places API. Lot of other things have been offered by Google. One other thing is Google AdMob SDK. The SDK has been next generation Google mobile advertising, and it redefined ad formats and streamline APIs. So with the help of Google AdMob SDK, you can generate revenue from your free applications. As you can see in Google Market, we have a lot of applications, and so with the help of AdMob SDK, you can just integrate that SDK in your application and earn handsome revenue. Lot of times we also get applications when we need to track that. Okay, so like we got 100 users, and what are those 100 users are doing in our application. Suppose that we have 10 services in our app, and we need to view that, okay, those 100 users are coming up and they are accessing which services. So web users must be aware of Google Analytics. So you can use Google Analytics for mobile also. So you can just track user interaction with your application. You can view most popular schemes, retention rates, and more. Other thing which we have in offered by Google is a Gmail API. So by using this, you can utilize the Gmail atom feed to request read-only access to your unread messages. So this is one of the very fine way to access Gmail services in your Android application. One of the major services which current people use is to integrate YouTube. YouTube is very much famous these days, and we all need to see YouTube videos in our website application. We need to provide users. Suppose that you have a video-based application and you need to integrate in YouTube, so you can again go to Google and just integrate the YouTube API in your application. So with the help of YouTube API, you can show YouTube videos in your application. Lot of other services have been provided by Google, like we have a Google App Engine also, Google Latitude API, which helps to keep track of locations, Health API, which gives you information about health. Then we have Financial API, which gives you information about finance. So and Blogger API also there, with the help of which you can track your blogs. So lot of things have been offered by Google, and I would say that Google Google Maps is one of the part of that service. We would like to see that all other then you can just view all the other services also. So if you can just send your request to TechGig if you want to have webinars on any other topics. So and about Google Play, Google AdMob, and anything. So you can always send your request to TechGig, and we would see your request, and we would obviously go for those webinars. So that's all for our session today. So we would like to take some questions now. So one of the question has been put by Niharika Napadara. Niharika has asked that the updates will be provided with the network, or we need to enter manually. See, that was just an example of using one instance. We have a lot of things, like suppose location-based people must be aware of KML and GPX files. So using you can just use GPX files and KML files also in your to track locations. So if you want to see GPX and KML files formation, so again you just need to get to emulator, and here you can just in the DDMS. So we have location controls. So here you can just you can just load your GPX file or KML file, and you can fetch the latitude and longitude coordinates and play with it. So that's one of the very nice question. Another question we have is from what about API security? This question has been asked by Sandeep Sharma. So the question is, what about API security? Is there are API security for Ajax and API, also integration to SMA? Also we can get data feed from trends.google.com. So yeah, we can get feed from trends.google.com also, because recently Google has launched our the service. About API security, like Ajax based services have also been launched, so you can just integrate all those things. One of the question is by Richa Shah, is that once I tried to creating and test example for our university Geocoding, those examples were not working with API 8 or 9, but the same examples were working with API 7. Well, I would say that Richa, we need to see a correct scenario, because Google Maps is supported and from very beginning, so I don't think this issue should come up. A question by Usman Sayyed, that how to draw irregular shapes overlays on the maps. Usman, for this you need to use canvas class. with the help of in the Canvas class, we have a lot of methods. So you just need to master Canvas class, and you can draw any type of shape. You can draw rectangles, you can draw lines, so you can draw a lot of things. So you just need to master the Canvas class. Other questions which have been uh, uh, put is that Mr. Paras Bharti, that how can we get multiple latitude, longitude around 2 2 mile radius? The question is that how to get multiple latitude, longitude out in a 2 mile radius. So basically, for that you need to just request location updates method, and you just need to pass a list of basically geopoints. So when your location updates will be there, so what happens that when you just move, so a lot of latitude longitude values come up. So at that point of time, the location listener keeps track of your latitude and longitude values, and around your 2 mile radius, those latitude longitude values you can just keep adding to your addresses array. Other question is from Vipul Davar is how do we use integrate GPS services to send some data, as we can get location service with GPS. Example, in mobile top you can get your Chromebox, so if you can send more data with this service, avoid use of internet. See, basically, well, I've never said that net is necessary, but the major thing about GPS, as I told you already in the session, that GPS consumes a lot of battery. So you need to have your strong battery basically in your mobile device, because this is one of the major cause of concern in GPS, because it will consume your power battery, and if you use a network provider, so the battery avoidance will be less. But still, if you want to use GPS, so my recommendation is that you can just keep location updates you can just request location updates to at some duration of time, not continuously, so it will help you save you a lot of battery. Also, you can just keep other points which have been mentioned in the session, so it will help you to just keep all those points. Other question is from Mr. Bharat. How to use Gmail API to show my friends online status in my app? Well, Bharat, this question is scope out of scope of the session, but still I would like to answer that you can just use the latest Gmail API, which can just and with the help of Gmail API, you can just check the inbox. But currently we can't use the Gmail API to show the online status. Other question is to got by Mr. Milin, that how to get altitude along with latitude and longitude. So we have a method with latitude longitude. There is one more get altitude method is also there in the location package. So we can just use that method to get the altitude also. So one more question has been come from Mr. Abhishek. You have mentioned about tracking ATMS location. How I track the latitude and longitude for ATMs or restaurant in my application? Well, Abhishek, I have mentioned about ATM and restaurant, but for to track ATMs and location and restaurant, if you need to specify a specific ATM restaurant, you need to use Google Places API, which I was mentioning in the last. With the help of Google Places API, you can just keep track of all the ATMs and restaurants on your nearby area. The location-based services will help you to fetch those locations of those ATMs and restaurants, and you can show in your application. Question is by Avdut Avdut Velankar, that can location be retrieved or used in projection other than latitude longitude, other than latitude and longitude like UTM? Yes, Avdut, it can be. We can use this. So thank you, friends. And one last question is from Mr. Anup, is that how I can draw a route on the map to set latitude and longitude. So Anup, for this you need to have a KML or GPX file. So here you get a set of latitude and longitudes, and with the help, and then there's a method called is route display. So you can draw routes with the help of that. So that's all from my side, friends. So it was nice talking to you. So thanks once again for giving a valuable time to us. Thank you, boss.
Thanks, Mr. Vineet, for your session on location-based services and Google Maps and Android app development. It was indeed an enlightening session. I would also like to thank our participants for their support in making this webinar a huge success. The recording of this webinar will be available tonight. I just want to inform you about the next session which is happening in this mobile app development series. The third session is happening on coming Tuesday, that is October 18th at 3 p.m. The topic is application development for a BlackBerry. The speaker of this session is Mr. Pradeep Kumar Singh, who is a Vice President Enterprise Mobility at Spice Labs. So see you all next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Thank you.